A reaction to a person's performance. That, in its simplest form, is how we describe feedback. And that information is then used to adjust or improve moving forward. But there is an appropriate way to give feedback when it comes to the workplace. So from Action Coach Columbus, Pete McDowell and Peg Burley back with me on Daytime. Hello to you both.
Hi there.
All right, first and foremost, why is it so important to give feedback? You know, you don't want to probably go 3 to 5 years at your workplace and have no clue how you're doing. But
probably a good idea.
Why is it such a vital part of what you do?
Sure.
Well, just like driving a car down the road, you usually don't close your eyes for any extended period of time, right?
Right.
We want to see what's going on around us and be able to make adjustments. And that's what we're doing at work all day, is making adjustments all day long. And we make better adjustments if we get feedback from people who really care about us.
There are obviously some things to do, and a lot of it is just having tact with it, right? Knowing how to give feedback.
Right.
You say timing has a lot to do with it, right? So how do you know when and how to do it?
So we have a couple ideas. Number one is whenever you give feedback, remember these 3 things. You want it to be specific, timely, and positive. So you don't want to wait until that review, and which we have seen, where you start making a list. I'm going to talk about this at the review, and this at the review, and this at the review, and then it comes a review, and you get feedback that might be some of it good, but a lot of corrections. That review, nothing should be a surprise.
Okay.
It's to review the conversations we've had between now and that moment.
Okay.
And now there is feedback that's positive. There's also corrective feedback. And you do need to do that with tact.
We'd like to have the majority of it be the positive kind, if possible. If you see a great behavior being done in the workplace, let people know right away, let them know why it's important, and thank them for it.
And, you know, the problem with obviously giving somebody a lot of negative feedback, too, is it's not probably something that has happened in the immediate, you know, distance. It's something you might have done 6 months ago, and you're like, what did I do that? When did I do that? You know, so that's why it's important to address as you go, right?
Right.
And the next thing you say is the purpose of your discussion, right? Making sure that it's clear when you give somebody feedback.
Sure.
Right. And you know, one of the things that I want to our viewers, I want to give you a test. If you're a manager or even a person, ask yourself when you're walking up to that individual. Let's say, Robin, I'm with you at work and I'm walking up to you. What do you think that person's thinking I want from you? Is it, oh my God, here comes another thing you're going to give me?
Well, here comes Robin.
Or here, oh no, what did I do wrong?
Power under your desk. No, yeah.
What did I do wrong this time? Or, oh, here she comes. I know it's going to be a positive conversation. As a leader, asking yourself that question as you walk up is going to be important, because the purpose of any conversation is to really help that person grow. And doing it in a way that's inspiring and exciting, and they can't wait to have that conversation.
Now, is it different? Because, you know, you're giving employees at varying levels feedback, right? So you've got maybe an experienced employee, a manager that you're giving feedback to. Does that differ?
Well, new employees in particular, and we went through this week with a newer manager with a fairly new employee, someone who'd only been in the business for about 30 days.
Okay, very new.
So this is a very important meeting. So we were there with them when they went through the meeting, because the manager was still unsure of her role. And she did a great job. And really what she did is talk to the employee about how they were doing things well and why that was important to them and to the business and to the team. And then she also pointed out some things, and she was very specific about it, with when it happened and what the circumstances were. And we had a little discussion with the employee about, here's the situation that happened, here's why that wasn't such a great idea, and here's what we'd like you to do in the future. So it was real specific, and it was kind. And when we got done, there was an impact there, and the person really wants to do a great job.
And is that, I mean, do you guys find that when you sit down and talk with people? I mean, nobody wants to get negative feedback, right?
Sure.
But when you get it done constructively,
yes,
is that both sides win, right? I
Right.
mean, that is the inevitable goal here.
It should be a good conversation, and you don't want to surprise. So, you know, 2 months ago, Robin, when you took that cup of coffee and then you left it in the sink, that was wrong. That is not what we want, because
I
then
usually just let it grow mold on my desk. Let's get it right, specific here.
did it have her
That's right.
fingerprints on it?
So we don't want to wait for 2 months ago you said this, but we want it
Right.
to be very timely, because otherwise you feel like, am I always on, am I always being judged? And we want to
Right.
avoid that. And you should feel excited after a conversation, because now I know what to do.
And companies are moving away when we encourage them from the formal annual review where you spend 2 hours talking about and you pull a bunch of things that happened 6 months ago out of the file. Well, we're doing less of that and more frequent, shorter discussions. and when they happen. Like
Right.
yesterday, you got me that report. I needed that thing because fill in the blank, and this is why it helped. And let them know right away if you can.
So timely, specific,
Positive.
positive. All right.
If you do that, you're more likely, when you have to correct somebody, they're more likely to hear you and actually take some action on it.
Okay, that says a lot. And if you want help with your business, you want them to do the dirty work?
Yes, we can do
They
it.
can help you, right? So call
We can.
Pete or Peg with Action Coach Columbus. All the info on screen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Robin.